This past Saturday, on the 27th, my church hosted an event out on the beach, out on the lakefront. It was called Gospel on the Beach. Pretty much the first of its kind that's ever happened out here in this area. And it went off pretty well. It went off almost without a hitch, except that, a few minor glitches. But for the most part, it went well. There are a few people that I'd like to thank for their involvement with the portion of it that I had anything to do with. I was responsible for the security of the event, and I think it went well. We had not one problem, a couple of potentials, but nobody's supposed to know about that stuff anyway. One of the people that I like to thank the most is Kylen. I don't know if she wants me to say her whole name, so I'll just say Kylen. Kylen is the president of the Hooligans Bike Club out here in this area. She allowed us to make use of some of her guys, Twin and the rest of them. And those guys were amazing. They did a great job, and I wanted to make sure that I publicly let that be known because I look forward to maybe working with them again in the future. Security is not an easy thing to put together. A lot of people just see bodies standing around, but they don't really understand there's a science to that. I have a lot of experience with it, whether it be from my time in the military or my time in the streets, which many people underestimate. Things that you learn in the streets, you can't really put on a resume. People really don't give it a great deal of thought. When you start asking them about skills that they have, they'll put stuff that, they went to school for, or, jobs that they've had and whatever they learned on those jobs. But they won't really address things that are a little bit more invisible to the naked eye. But one of the things that you can't see or you won't see on a resume when it comes to you trying to put together your qualifications for things is something as simple as patience. Where they teach that at, So when it comes to security, especially in an event like this, you have to really be patient. You're standing around somewhere and you think, well, wow, this is boring. But, it's that one thing that happens after 3 hours of just standing there that you have to deal with, and you have to address it in a very efficient way. And a lot of times it comes from just simply proper communication. Something else that's underestimated and undervalued is knowing how to talk to people in a very respectful way, mostly in a calm way, in some cases in a firm way. Firm is not synonymous with aggression. So everything went well out there. The reason I wanted to put this video out, one of the reasons I wanted to put this video out was connected to what I just said is the fact that I've been receiving a number of calls from churches who are wanting to, basically have an evaluation done of their security. This in the wake of that catastrophe down in South Carolina, where the young boy went into the church and, killed those people in cold blood, calculated, cold. So now people are hesitant and nervous about going to the one location on the planet, only secondary to the schools, that most people feel like it's supposed to be almost the safest place on the planet. And that's any house of worship. Whether you're talking about a Christian church or, a mosque or a hall or, a synagogue, it doesn't make a difference. These are places of worship. Whatever your religious persuasion is, these are locations that you should never have to worry about violence. Somebody might get happy and jump up and hit you in the face, but, you shouldn't have to worry about violence in a place like that. However, in this world that we live in right now, we recognize that, there pretty much are no rules, and people were asleep. And the little boy down in South Carolina, he woke everybody up. And they started to realize that you need to tighten up. You know, I think it's very important that everybody just do their due diligence and be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. But that's another conversation. What I want to do is I'm adding a department to my company, AntMound Consulting, and that will be security. So we'll have AntMound Security as a subsidiary of AntMound Consulting. And we're going to go out and we're going to see what we can do to contribute to putting certain people's mind at ease that certain places they go is safe. You're never going to eliminate the risk. You know, my motto is you simply try to minimize it. Churches have always been places where there was like an invisible shield around it. You know, people just knew, don't go there playing games. Wherever you do it at, wherever else you do it at, don't go there. You know, because whatever your religious persuasion, we all know there is a God. I think he's going to frown real heavy on individuals who play with them places. But that's just my take on it. I don't want to get religious on you. But what I will say is we are here at AntMound going to do our part to help from a security standpoint. And we'll reach out to, or we'll make ourselves available to anyone who feels like they want to do a security assessment on whatever location we're talking about. But right now I'm speaking about the churches. If you all want someone to come through and do an assessment to see where you have holes in your security, if you have no security, you know, let's give you a blueprint for how to set it up. And we're willing to do that for you. And I guarantee you that the price will be very reasonable, especially in comparison. We're pretty good at what we do. So my aim is to I'd like to make it to whereas what happened in South Carolina is very difficult. See, that was too easy for that guy. We need to make it more difficult for him to, or people like him to do what he did. So that's my little 2 cents. I wanted to put that out there to you, and look out for more information on AntMound Security and the services that we provide in the near future. And we look forward to any future business that we can have with you all, any relationships we can establish with you all. It's not all about a dollar. Sometimes we'll just have to go in and just do it because it's the right thing to do. So I look forward to speaking with you all soon. In the meantime, you all have a nice day.